Have you ever stood in the middle of a snowy forest where the trees are so tall they seem to touch the sky? Have you ever listened to the wind howling through the branches? Felt a shiver go down your spine? Not just from the cold, but from a strange feeling that something is watching you. Imagine a cold so deep it hurts your face. Imagine a winter that never seems to end. When the snow is piled high and the world is silent, do you ever wonder what hides in the shadows of the pine trees? We tell ourselves that the snapping of a twig is just a deer, or the wind groaning is just the storm. But what if it isn't? What if the hunger you feel when you miss a meal is nothing compared to a hunger that never, ever goes away? Imagine a stomach that feels like a bottomless pit, a hole that can never be filled, no matter how much you eat. This story is about that hunger. It is about a creature that was once like us, but lost its way. It is a story about the dangers of being too greedy, of wanting more than you need, and of the terrible things that happen when humans are left alone in the freezing dark. In the deep frozen north, where the nights are long and the sun is weak, there is a legend. It is not a story for bedtime. It is a warning. It is a whisper told by the fireside to keep children close and to remind hunters not to stay out too long. So I ask you again, when the wind screams and the snow blinds you, are you sure you are alone? Or is there something tall, thin, and terribly hungry walking just behind the tree line, waiting for you to look its way? Let us look closely at this monster. Close your eyes and picture a creature that stands taller than any man, taller even than a bear standing on its hind legs. This creature is not made of soft skin and warm blood like you and me. It looks like a walking skeleton, wrapped in gray, dried-out skin. This is the Wendigo. Its body is a map of starvation. You can see every rib poking against its skin, sharp and hard. Its arms are too long for its body, dragging down near its knees, ending in fingers that are more like jagged claws. These hands are strong enough to snap a tree trunk, yet they look like dead branches. But the most terrifying part is its head. It does not have a human face anymore. Instead, it looks like the skull of a giant deer. Massive antlers rise from its head, sharp and pointed, scraping against the low-hanging branches as it walks. These antlers are not majestic. They are scary, looking like thorns made of bone. Its eyes are deep sockets that glow with a pale, sickly light. They don't look like eyes that see the beauty of the world. They look like eyes that are hunting. In its mouth, its lips are tattered and torn, revealing teeth that are jagged and yellow, ready to bite and tear. The Wendigo smells like death. It carries the scent of rotting leaves and damp earth. Its skin is as cold as the ice on a frozen lake. It does not shiver in the cold, because the cold is part of it. It is the winter. When it breathes, a cloud of fog comes out, but it doesn't vanish quickly. It lingers, smelling of old blood. This body is designed for one thing only: to survive the harsh winter by hunting anything that moves. Now imagine the feeling of being hungry. Maybe you skipped lunch and your tummy rumbles. You feel a little weak. You eat a sandwich and the feeling goes away. You feel happy and full. But for the Wendigo, the hunger works differently. It is a curse. Inside the Wendigo, there is a fire that burns, but it gives no heat. It is a fire of pure emptiness. No matter how much the Wendigo eats, it never gets full. In fact, the legends say that every time the Wendigo eats, it grows larger. And because it grows larger, its hunger grows bigger too. It is a terrible cycle. Imagine if drinking a glass of water made you thirstier. Imagine if sleeping made you more tired. That is the life of the Wendigo. It is trapped in a body that demands food every single second of every single day. Its stomach is a cavern of pain. This pain drives it mad. It wanders the forest constantly, looking for its next meal, not because it wants to, but because it has to. The hunger controls its brain. It cannot think about friends or fun or rest. It can only think about eating. This physiology of starvation changes how it moves. It is twitchy and fast, fueled by desperation. It is always searching, always sniffing the air. The pain of its hunger makes it scream into the night, night, a sound that sounds like the wind tearing through the valley. This is why the Wendigo is so thin. The magic that created it doesn't let it keep the energy from its food. It just burns it away instantly, leaving the creature hollow. It is a prisoner in its own body, a slave to a belly that can never be satisfied. It is the ultimate punishment, to eat forever, but always be starving. How does such a monster come to be? Was it always a monster? The saddest and scariest part of the story is that the Wendigo was once a human being. It could have been a hunter, a traveler, or a lost wanderer. The story tells us that the Wendigo is born from a frozen heart. This happens in the deepest winter, when food is scarce and people are trapped by the snow. Sometimes when people are starving and scared, they make bad choices. They let greed take over. They start to care only about themselves. In the lore of the Algonquian people, if a human resorts to eating another human to survive, an act called cannibalism, they invite the curse. It is the ultimate act of selfishness, consuming someone else so you can live. When a person does this, their humanity breaks. Their spirit is twisted. The legends say that their heart literally turns to solid ice. This ice heart is the source of the Wendigo's power and its curse. As the ice takes over, their warm skin turns cold and gray. Their teeth fall out and grow back sharp. Their fingernails stretch into claws. They forget their name. They forget their family. All that is left is the greed and the hunger. The person they used to be is gone, trapped inside a monster that destroys everything it loves. It serves as a warning to us all. It warns us against being greedy. It warns us that even in the hardest times, we must keep our humanity. We must share what we have, even if it is little. Because if we let selfishness take over, if we let our hearts grow cold towards others, we risk becoming monsters ourselves. The Wendigo is not just a beast in the woods. It is a reflection of what happens when we lose our kindness. The Wendigo does not hunt like a wolf or a bear. A bear hunts to feed its cubs. A wolf hunts with its pack. The Wendigo hunts alone, and it hunts with cruelty. Because it was once human, it is smart. It knows how people think. It knows that we are scared of the dark. The Wendigo likes to play games with its prey. It doesn't just jump out and attack. It stalks. Imagine you are walking in the woods. You see footprints in the snow that look human, but they are too far apart, as if the person was taking giant leaps. You follow them, confused. Then the footprints stop abruptly in the middle of an open field. Where did they go? You look up and you realize the creature hasn't stopped. It has jumped into the trees. The Wendigo moves silently through the canopy, its long limbs wrapping around the pine trees like a spider. It watches you from above. It mimics human voices. It might sound like a crying child or a friend calling for help. It wants to lure you deeper into the woods, away from the safety of the path. It thrives on isolation. It waits until you are alone, separated from your group. It uses the weather as a weapon. It moves best when the snow is falling hard, using the whiteout to hide its massive, bony frame. Those who have escaped the Wendigo say they felt a sudden drop in temperature before they saw it. The air grew so cold, their breath froze instantly on their lips. The forest went completely quiet. No birds, no squirrels. That silence is the sign that the Wendigo is near. It is the king of the lonely, frozen places, and when it hunts, the whole forest holds its breath in fear. We have reached the end of our journey into the dark woods. We have seen the monster's antlers, felt its icy breath, and understood the pain of its endless hunger. But why do we tell this story? Why has the legend of the Wendigo survived for hundreds of years? It is because the Wendigo is more than just a scary campfire tale. It is a mirror. The creature shows us the dangers of losing control. In the harsh winters of the North, survival is hard. It requires community. It requires people helping people. The Wendigo represents the opposite of community. It represents selfishness. It represents consuming everything around you until there is nothing left. The physicology of the creature, the empty stomach, the heart of ice, tells us a simple truth. Greed leaves you empty. No matter how much you take, if you take it selfishly, you will never be happy. You will always want more, just like the Wendigo. The story also teaches us to respect nature. The frozen forest is beautiful, but it is dangerous. We must be humble when we enter the wild. We must respect the cold and the dark. So the next time you are out in the winter and you see the snow falling softly on the trees, remember the Wendigo. Remember that it is a creature of loneliness. Keep your friends close. Share your food. Keep your heart warm with kindness. If you do these things, you have nothing to fear. The Wendigo only comes for those who have let the ice into their souls. But if you ever hear a voice calling your name from the deep, dark woods, do not answer. Do not look back. Just walk toward the light of your home and never let your hunger turn you into something you are not. The end.